Hello, we are now going to convert our singly linked list into a doubly linked list, right? We already saw the advantages of a doubly linked list. So let's convert this into a doubly linked list. So first thing I did is I have made a pointer which is a brief pointer. Okay, and I'm going to add this. I'm going to modify our constructor, right? Right, and we should also have a tail pointer in the linked list. Good. Now the functions we need to, so similar to return front, we can have a return back function, which is just, okay, I'm going to do, sorry, this has to be tail. I'm going to do, so this is something we always maintain that, see, 0 is a default value. Okay, so 0 is an integer, but right now I'm representing 0 by the meaning that the list is null, right? In that case, it's better that I have I define that here. So let me just, the default value, so what should we say, an error value? Okay, so let's say the error value 0. So this is not the way to take care of this. We will, right now we will do it this way. Okay, yeah. What else we need to do? So similar to add front, okay, we'll have to modify the add front to also have, so is it proof comma, so it has to be proof comma next, right? So when something is added to the front, the previous pointer is going to be null. Good. But we also have to, I'm going to write if head is equal to null. What we just need to do is head is equal to x comma null comma 5. So if head is not equal to null, we come here and we say that head dot next of read should be equal to, right? So we have to set the brief of the earlier head node to this newly constructed node. So that's all we did. Okay, now I need to write add back function, which is going to be the following. The add back function again. So other than this, I'm going to look at the tail. Okay, so here is something we have to do. So if head is equal to null, it means the tail is also equal to null, right? So in that case, I have to make, and I have made a new node and I have constructed and given it to the head value. Then tail should now be removed from the null. So tail also should have some node, and now I have said tail is also equal to head, because now there is exactly one node, and that node should, the tail and head both should be pointing to that. So the same case here, I'm writing the add back function, and So let me do the same thing here. And we have to have tail is equal to new tail comma. So next of this new node should be null, but tail of priv of next is equal to head. One thing to understand is the add front and add back functions are symmetric. What I did for head in add front, I should do it for tail in add back. So it's symmetric. So it's kind of replacing one with the other. And so that's how I approached it and finished it. So I didn't even think much. Okay, priv was replaced by next and next is replaced by priv. That's all I did. So that's what. So this had to be tail. Okay, because earlier here head was used and here it should be the symmetric, so tail should be used. Remove front. I need to modify the function remove front to include the priv pointer. So what is it I need to do? Let's see if head is equal to null. Yeah, so there's nothing else to be done. On the other hand, let's say once, okay, so we are at head and head is now assigned head dot next, that is the next node. What can happen is that head dot next is null, that is there was only just one node and head dot next now is null. So since there is only one node, head and tail both are looking at the same node. So if head, this new head has become null, then you should have tail also equal to null, right? Because head dot next turns out to be null, and the new head is null, therefore tail also becomes null. Now on the other hand, if is not null, that means head dot next head. So we were in the first node, now there's a second node, and now head becomes this, right? Now what we had to do is, this guy had a previous node, right? And that has to be made to be null. So that is the new head dot priv should be equal to null. Okay, right? And rest goes, the rest is exactly like this. And let's do it for, let's write the same function which is symmetric to this and which takes care of that back. So for symmetric, since it's symmetric, what I need to do is I have to replace head by tail and next by priv. So that's all. I'm doing this without thinking at all. Okay. Meanwhile, if you have doubt, you just check whether what I'm doing right now is correct. Yeah. Good. So we have now written the remove back function also. Good. Anything else to be written? Let me just copy this to be added here. Okay, so it's remove back, right? And this will go. Okay. Similarly, we had this void add back, right? We had, okay, it's good. We had made one mistake here in the earlier when we wrote this remove function earlier, and this is, as you can see, this is like an infinite loop. This should have been removed back. Sorry, remove front. Okay. Because add is equal to add front and remove is equal to remove front. That's kind of the notation we are going to use. Right, and this is and in the element there's no zero. We have to replace it by error. So this is an error. Right. Okay, I think this the code right now they should work, and let's see how to do it. So do I'm going to add thing on the back of the list. Let's say the number 50, and I'm going to compile and see whether this is going to. So what should we get now? We should get the numbers in the following order: 3, 20, 10, 50, right? Because 50 is on the back and 3, 20, 10 are supposed to be in that order. So let's do that. Let's compile. Okay, so there's something wrong here. This should have been none, and this should have been true. Okay, right. Good. 3, 20, 10, 50. That's in that order. Okay. Things are looking good. Now let's do the following. Let me remove back here. Okay. What do I get? Yeah. 320, 50 because 10 got removed and 50 is added. Let's do it again. Okay, yeah, this is scripted, right? So let's do this. Let's do a remove back now, and then let me do it again and see what we get. Okay, so sorry, we should have a new line so that we understand what is that. Okay, so initially it's 320, 50, and then remove back 50 got removed and rest are fine. So maybe I'll replace it with remove front and see. Okay, 3 got removed. Let's remove it again. Yeah, so 3 and 20 both got removed and 50 is being printed. Let me remove this again. Okay, nothing got printed. Good, right? Seems to be working fine. Okay, so as you could notice, our print LL of 1 is being, it's printing 0. Why? Because there is no LL of 1. The length of the list is now less than 1, and so one LL of 1 is actually the list should have at least 2 elements because the index starts from 0. Now, since it's 1 and we have an error return of 0, and that's why 0 has been printed. Okay, good. This takes care of our doubly linked list, and we have an add and remove, add friend and remove friend, and similarly add back and remove back function. Next thing I want to do is I want to make this into a package so that I can use this linked list for our other applications. So for that, I'm going to first make this node. I'm going to take the constructor out of this class. So let's do that first. I'm going to copy this. Similarly, I'm going to write. Copy the second constructor. To copy the third constructor. Okay, constructors have been copied, and now the body of each of these functions I'm going to do. Good. Right, and let's now make this into a header file. I'm going to copy the class, the node definition, and then I'm going to copy the linked list definition. right? Okay, and finally we are going to have one main program. I'm going to copy the main program to a different file, and I'm going to call it, let's call it something main.cpp. Okay, and we should include, right? Okay, now we can compile the code and do it. So let's first compile. Let's first compile this dot cpp. It worked. Now I can compile g++ main.cpp and I have to include list.out. That also works well. Okay, so this things it's our package is ready. We can use this list.cpp package for our further use. While scrolling through this our list.cpp code, I found out a bug and we need to fix that. We need to write tail is equal to null in the constructor. We have to initialize the tail equal to null. Otherwise, as you could see, we would have gone wrong in the add back function if we had tried that. Okay, so that's one mistake we made, and this is why it's important that you have to try all the functions and see whether all the functions are working correctly, and the ordering of the different functions, everything matters, as you could see here, and these are important things you have to test your code for. Okay, anyway, this should work now. Thank you.